The Steel Eel. Although I would concede it's not the best designed coaster in the San Antonio area, Wonder Woman and the Iron Rattler are better designs. The Steel Eel is my favorite, edging out ZDT's Switchback. To clarify, first, let's go over my key desires for a roller coaster. A big enough drop that people can't say it's nothing, a drop right off of the chain lift, an enjoyable gimmick that is well executed, a second chain lift and or brake run that doesn't needlessly slow the ride down, re-rideability with a threshold of 6 times in a row, a long ride to make a wait worth it, helixes, turns, overbanks, or other elements spread throughout the ride, and finally, good visual theming. This may not, and probably is not, your desired list when looking for a great roller coaster, but it is for me. The Steel Eel checks some, but not all of the boxes. It is a drop right off of the chain lift, though that fact significantly reduces how steep that drop could have been. It has a drop that is big enough that it's not nothing, being 150 feet, though it by far isn't built to be a great roller coaster drop. The Airtime gimmick on the Steel Eel is executed wonderfully, especially if the lap bar is a little bit loose and you're sitting in the very front row. Holding it up may be necessary as the forces at the bottom of the hill will push it down into place, so don't ride this with your hands up. The Steel Eel makes you feel like you're flying out of your seat, and the third drop being bigger helps give you a nice surprise as well. The back row, at least for me, whips me up and down a little bit too much and doesn't give me that nice sustaining floater airtime that I like. The brake run does slow the train some, a miss here, but this is largely a consequence of poor design and a lack of additional elements than an attraction of its own. As this park routinely is the only coaster open for the first hour of the park, I've been forced to re-ride this ride at least 6 times in a row. The slow load times and SeaWorld's limit of 2 consecutive rides make 6 times in an hour about the max you can marathon this coaster. Although it loses a little with re-rides, it still delivers a nice punch that is only diluted after riding 30 to 40 times overall. Despite its simplicity, the ride on the Steel Eel is a lot longer than Wonder Woman or even the Iron Rattler. Not a negative, but it does lead into below. Where the Steel Eel fails is in having more. Built in the late 90s, this was seen as a solid big coaster, but with various elements that RMC coasters have added, plus just an overall desire to have better coasters, that lack of any additional elements beyond the hills and a large Roadrunner Express-like turning drop seems to be a misstep. I'm not sad that there's no inversions, but I would have liked some helixes and other special elements to add more to this ride. The theming here is pretty bad, with a middle school and SeaWorld's old log flumes as the main sights to see. But they are nice. However, overall, my enjoyment of this ride far exceeds its close competitor in the Iron Rattler, as the Iron Rattler is over way too quickly and offers a confusing set of best moments, with 2 of the best 4 moments being the turn into the chain lift and the chain lift itself. The Steel Eel offers 2 fantastic airtime hills, and then little bunny hills at the end that are absolutely perfect. Would I like this coaster to have a little bit more? Absolutely. But I find it the best in San Antonio, just as it is.